Oh man, he fucked up, man.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Here at Veteran Trash Talk, we actually vet our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a Butter Bar lieutenant lost on the land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran in their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
Hey, what's up, Trash Talkers? Listen, it's impossible to fight, okay, if you don't know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in the dumps and you're struggling with mental health, things of that nature, it's going to continue tearing you down, all right? Because you're consistently trying to fight something, which is that demon, which is usually something from the past, right? Maybe that why needs to be fighting for your future. Let that be your why. Get the hell up and start fighting for your future. Stop fighting things that happened in the past. Easier said than done, right? Go seek help. It's okay not to be okay. A lot of people need to hear this. You are more of a warrior and a fighter if you stand up and say, hey, this has to stop. I need to go seek help. The stigma, everything has changed. It's okay not to be okay.
And so my honesty cap is dedicated to a little, we'll call it a public service announcement for civilians and other people in the military. There are a few people that you should always take their stories with a grain of salt. Vegans, CrossFitters, and special operations guys that tell you that they were special operations without being prompted. The first thing they say is, "Yeah, I used to be soft," right? The only unicorn in that entire group is like a special operations guy that was like a vegan and did CrossFit. That guy's probably going to stay quiet for a little bit longer because he's confused as what he should talk about first. And that's the only reason. Right? Anybody that says that they were soft without being prompted or without it being like a normal part of your communications is probably either an enabler or going to tell you a bunch of stuff that's not exactly true.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Hitting you up this morning with a special promo on how to dress when you are doing PT in civilians, but you want everybody to know you're an Army. This comes from the Buddy Beckwith fashion design of how to work out. So first, you can notice the RI panties. Not Ranger panties, but Ranger instructor panties. The green socks, the knee brace for the old guys. Don't forget the M frames. Now the shirt, don't wear the Trash Talk shirt while you're running. This is just for the promo. You want to put on like an 80-second shirt or like your favorite airborne shirt so everybody knows that you're a veteran. That's the most important thing. And you start with this stretch. Buddy Beckwith taught me this one. Ready to go.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
What's up, Trash Talkers? What is up, Gruntworks Nation? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 23 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special guest today is Marine Corps veteran Josh with the JMAC podcast. And with me today are Tanner Port and the Big Earl. Happy Saturday.
Gotta love it, man. Tanner Port's like every other artillery dude. You know, you don't, when you need him, he's there. You don't know where he is, but we had our host dropped out, and I was like, "Hey, brother, can you help us out?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll come on." He's like, "When?" I'm like, "In 20 minutes."
Hey, he came through. He came through.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Grateful to be here, guys. Always
Good,
fun.
good.
Yeah, you know, and Buddy was supposed to, it was his day for the honesty cap, and he's supposed to be on here, and you know it hurt him that he couldn't come on because he's been on Facebook just going ape shit with his
That's the most I've seen him
now.
on Facebook in 2 years.
Yeah, but he knew that he wasn't going to be able to talk about it today, so he's like, I just got to fucking type it. I got to get it out somehow.
It's irking him. Yeah. Yeah, he made like 2 posts in a matter of like 2 days. I'm like, holy cow, Buddy, man.
Right. Yeah, man, life's happening, man. We had to cancel the fight show yesterday. Bill had to do a fundraiser. Like,
it's a tough life that he lives. Heavy is the crown of Send It, 7, man.
Send It 7, yeah. And then
Send It 7.
And then, Natalie's running today and, possibly yesterday. And then, if someone says, "Hey, I got Dr. Dre Sweet at the Laker game. Can you come?" The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
maybe
can make
he
it.
Can, maybe he can finagle something when I come up there in next month.
Yeah. I told him he'd be here.
Nick,
so.
Yeah. We need to get together with Flores, man. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's what's up. Well, anyway, let's kickstart this show with a conspiracy that I came across yesterday on TikTok. And you guys all tracking 1986, the Challenger explosion that happened. I was like 5 years old. With the astronauts, I think it was like 6 that supposedly passed away. So there's this big rabbit hole that all of the astronauts are still alive. Okay, and
here we go.
Yeah, this is actually a really good one. So I googled it a little bit to get more information, and it's pretty legit. So the reason being is that I guess there were some insiders that were saying it's going to explode. There's some technical difficulties, and they just were like, "Hey, we need to launch this because we need the funding." So they ended up staging the whole thing. So they continue to get funding for NASA. But we're gonna play a quick video of this guy who breaks down the scenario or the situation, what happened, and then we're gonna discuss it. So go ahead and play that video, Nick.
I think I gotta play. I don't think Chris is here anymore.
No, he's gone. Losing that pool.
For your help, but first a little backstory. I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. It launched not too far from where we're standing here today. Well, the interesting thing is, a couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names. As you can see here, we have Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick and also Judith Resnick, Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age. Now, we all have a doppelganger out there, right? No big deal. But to have the same face, the same age, and the same exact name is extremely rare. So rare, I could only find one case in the last 120 years. And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one spaceflight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names. This, ladies and gentlemen, is beyond statistically impossible. Ms. Resnick was questioned at Yale by a journalist, and she panicked and ran from the camera. Why? Mr. Michael J. Smith was also questioned, and he said, yeah, we look alike, but that's not me. You can see both of these exchanges in a film called Level with Me, and you can be the judge. Mr.
Sir, I'm going to
have
to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Okay.
And part of the public comment is that you're only allowed to address things that we have jurisdiction over. We have no
I have a direct request at the end of this that is in your purview, sir, please. I do. Can we hold the time, please? I have a direct request that...
listen to me.
Okay.
Very carefully. Mr. Richardson, would you give an opinion in regards to this, please?
Yes, public comment is reserved for issues or topics that are under the jurisdiction or control of the county commission or that are relevant to the business of the county commission. So if your request at the end is going to explain why that falls into any of this, make that request now before you continue.
Absolutely. So as I was saying, I'll just end it with what I was ending with. But the ask is that Ms. Pritchett, who knows very well about questioning science, whether it be COVID or fluoride, I'm just asking you all to question the science here. Your Goodson and Pritchett, your district covers the Kennedy Space Center. This launched from the Kennedy Space Center. You have the ability to help me in sounding the alarm and asking the federal government for help. If this is contained in your area, I should be able to at least address something that happened here. Don't you agree?
That's not within the jurisdiction or authority of the county commission.
Thank you very much.
Will you let me finish for at least 10
No,
seconds?
sir, you're finished. Thank you.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you people down here.
Just because this is an uncomfortable topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
You just violated the First Amendment.
I didn't violate the First Amendment.
No, he
You violated the rules.
This is a limited public forum, and the meeting is for the purpose of the business of the county commission. It's not for this purpose.
Now, if you want to go too, take him out too. Officer, take him out also.
Everyone just calm down. They can leave willingly.
Wow.
No, we're leaving willingly. You don't have to remove us.
You just made a decision about NASA. You're making your decisions based. All right, well, you violated the First Amendment already.
Thank you very much for your opinion.
Yeah, maybe check reading it out again.
These astronauts are alive, by the way. Look it up. You can't have 3 doppelgangers. You can't. Same face, same name, same age. It's impossible. Look it up. Statistically impossible.
On Point Behavioral Center's right down the street. That's where
Bro.
What
The
just
On
happened?
Point Behavioral Center's right down the street. Like, totally got him on the way out there. Like, you need to make a right face and go into that building. Fill out some forms.
So I guess there's like doppelgangers for all of them, and there's like a big there's a documentary. I don't know what the name is. There's a big documentary on it, and a lot of people are talking about it. It's a pretty big conspiracy. So I don't know. Like, would the government be capable of doing something like that to stage something, and then for extra funding? I absolutely think so. Prior to the internet, like, why not? Like, who's going to catch on to that? Did this occur? I'm about 50-50 on it. I think there's a chance that it maybe occurred. Who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, why not? I guess if they need, if the story is true that there were insiders that specifically called like the following day and said, "Hey, the space shuttle is going to explode, but hey, we still got to do this because of funding." So they just staged the whole event. I mean, staging events has happened in the past. So yeah, I'm going to go with 50-50 on this one. Josh, what's your take?
Yeah, it sounds plausible. Like we could definitely figure some shit out like that to make that happen, right? I
Yep.
just wanna I just don't want to believe that our government would lie to us like that for so long. I just don't want to accept that that's a fact that just like
Yep.
any other conspiracy, right? Like I don't want to accept the fact that we've been lied to this whole time and it's more than what we're really seeing, you know what I mean? Even though I know it's more, but yeah, I can't dive into conspiracies, bro. I will go crazy on them.
That's probably one of the best takes we've had in a while. That's good. We've had some
That's
crazy
solid.
conspiracies on here. We've had some really good ones. Okay, and that's a fair take. Tanner, what you got, man? You're already rubbing your head. So are
So I've
you're a
been
zero conspiracy theorist? Like you don't believe in any
no,
conspiracies?
no, I've been
Because they're only a
first.
conspiracy until they're
Me
true,
being
right?
on this show is a conspiracy theory because I've been bamboozled. And then I think you got to take it further. First, I want to give that man mad props for showing up with a pointer to
Yeah.
like his point game was, all all
Pretty convincing, right?
substance aside, like the man had there was a lot going on, and I appreciate somebody that can animate and use a good pointer. I think he should have gone further. I think that the doppelganger is not enough. I think we should be. I really think. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the documentary Men in Black, but there's the famous scene, or there's I won't even call it a scene. It's actually probably like a Zionist conspiracy where the guy is inside the guy. I think that's probably a lot more realistic of what actually happened with this explosion. Than anything that the doppelganger. I think he's right. That statistically doesn't make sense. I don't think
And
we'll
there's
be able to.
doppelgangers. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier for all seven. I guess he only got to 3 on there, 4 or whatever in the video, but all 7 of them have doppelgangers. And there's one specifically, I think it's the one in Hawaii, and they're saying it's his twin brother, but there was something mixed up with the socials from what I read. It's just weird, man. I don't know. But I just
I don't
wanted
know,
to
man.
throw that out there.
I will say rest in peace to those brave Americans and to
100%,
families that are
100%.
watching this. We love you, Jesus.
All
That's
right,
crazy.
so absolutely never happened. Not true at all. That's your
I
take.
would vote. I appreciate medium level trolling. I think you should have taken it further. But yeah, I'm a no. That's a no for me, dog. I feel like
Okay.
those people are in the ground.
Good take.
Yeah,
Good take.
we touched a
Nick.
nerve with Monica with VTT's OE254 cable. She says that her aunt's best friend was Krista McGoffey, and
Hey,
there's
fair
no
enough.
way
Yeah.
Krista would have left her children like that. Yeah, see, Tanner took part of my take where, Hollywood is the explanation for all this. And how they desensitize us to conspiracies by just putting it in Hollywood so that we just think we don't even bat an eye, like aliens. Is it possible that a cockroach landed and then took Edgar's body and walked around? I mean, if it's happening in the movies, that script didn't just come from somewhere, man. Somebody's been feeding that script to somebody, right? But so again, for it to be a conspiracy, there has to be some level of truth, right? Otherwise, you're just a moron. And so I want you to look up the guy, Paul O'Neill, not the baseball player. Paul O'Neill was the former CEO of Alcoa, the third largest aluminum producer in the world. But before that, he was the Secretary of the Treasury under Bush. Bush and him didn't get along. But before that, he was auditing NASA. And he literally said, he was sitting in a board meeting and he goes, "You mean to tell me you guys just you're happy about blowing all this shit up? And we're just going to keep giving money to something that keeps failing." And he's like we're approaching this the way we're exploring space all wrong, to where it's just like it's okay to just blow up this freaking $400 billion project and just like meh, we'll try it again.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep.
So there is definitely truth to it that, you know, if they don't make the launch, do they lose some of their funding?
Right.
Right? Are they? And then what he talks about, and he was part of this mission, and what he talks about, and he does not say it's a hoax, but what he talks about is when you run an organization like that, because this is about organizational leadership where you focus on Paul O'Neill's life. He's like, they ran that organization so wrong about pleasing the money people that people were terrified to come up with, hey, this might not work.
Right.
They were terrified to say, like, hey, this nut right here with this bolt, right?
It's not gonna fucking at those temperatures or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it
Like
was.
a
It was
rush to failure type
it was
of
a
thing.
nut and a bolt. That's
right. A
that's
rush to failure
Yep.
and just
Yep.
afraid that top-down control of, hey, you just keep your mouth shut and put this freaking thing together. All right. And then they say, well, our scientists have studied it over on this section of NASA, so it's good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so they,
Which makes the whole thing even worse. If that was actually the case, that they knew something bad was going to happen and they did all die, I feel like that's even worse.
it is worse, but it wasn't like, if you're sitting there in your little cubicle, now I'm not going to go back to like the 70s and 80s and shit, right? Like you're sitting in your little cubicle and you bring up this point and somebody just goes, no, we checked that. It's fine.
Yeah.
And just drive on, Charlie Mike.
Okay.
But how do you keep so
true,
many people quiet though, right? Because it's not like it was just the people that
There was no
grew
internet
up
back
knew.
then.
Okay, but word of mouth still spreads. Little fucking PFC Johnny spreads the word about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it
there's
did
so many
spread. And
people
that's why this guy revamped NASA. Like, we
Yeah.
can't run things this way. It's costing people's lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so it definitely spread. But just
So I think we can.
there's no way they faked the deaths of these astronauts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to say that I'll redact or retract my comment just based off what Monica said. That's why we're here. Thank you everybody for watching. We solved that.
Yeah, we don't know. This is barracks talk.
Right.
This is like we're just sitting here in the barracks like we're professionals
Look,
and know everything.
I
you know?
googled this
Kinda like
yesterday.
Facebook
Or found
arguing
it on
about
TikTok
Ukraine.
yesterday. But that's a very valid point. Like Monica's like, my mom knew this person, you know, like, or whatever, that would, or my mom's friend, whatever, that would never happen. So like, hey, cool. But prior to that, what unfolded that then caused the explosion itself might be something that everybody should look into. I think we could all agree with that.
Well, you know, you can read that. And like I said, if you research Paul O'Neill, he goes into that about like, this isn't why the shuttle blew up, but this is why nobody was raising their hand saying stop. Yeah. Because they were just beat into submission about shut the fuck up.
Talking about culture.
Yeah, culture. Exactly. But yeah, I was gonna get into I was gonna have to do an ad hoc book of Earl because Buddy was supposed to do his honesty cap today and had to tap out. And dear Lord, did social media in the last 2 days give me a lot of ammo for a book of Earl? But you know, now that Tanner has come onto the scene, I'm going to give away my time because it does kind of go into the, hey, if you're not educated about something, you don't have to be educated in the field. Like you don't have to be an epidemiologist to understand how to read data about something. But if you're not educated and don't understand data, I mean, you know, just do what every other uneducated person does and change your profile picture to Ukraine, right? And say you support it, right? But don't go off there just because you haven't said one word about Ukraine in the last 4 fucking years, right? And now all of a sudden you're this Ukraine warrior. That was what I was kind of getting into, but this will segue into something awesome that Tanner has going on that we could spend a couple minutes on is, the cannonball.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a freaking awesome thing that's going on. I shared it on LinkedIn, but I didn't share it on Facebook. I need to get the link and put it on Facebook.
So yeah, guys, again, thank y'all for having me on. So obviously, 82nd Airborne, big fan, and got some 2P legends here. And essentially, I'm going to name drop a couple people, but they were around. So Sergeant Major Seymour and Colonel Gary. If you know anything about my story, going all the way back to 2010 when I showed up at 2P, and then we get what was it, Chisholm? Wasn't he? Yeah, y'all's guy. Yeah, y'all's best
you're
friend.
gonna give me flashbacks, bro.
Yeah. So Chisholm leaves, and then we get the man.
Josh. This is what he looked like. No, he looked like that. This.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
We
like
call him the thumb. We call him the thumb.
Checks out.
facts. It was a good nickname. It was solid. It was a unique time to be a private in the 82nd Airborne Division. I will say that. Shout out to Pat Broadhead. But yeah, what ends up taking place is through those first like private years there, Sergeant Major, we go, to Afghanistan, come back, and Sergeant Major, First Sergeant Devaya at the time is like, hey, Colonel Fenzel's doing this thing called Panther University. And essentially we were doing like these kind of month-long, at that time, y'all remember like CTEs, like you'd spend a month out in the field. And basically his deal was, hey, I'm going to give college classes in the battalion area or the brigade area. And his contract was, I will bus you back. Right. And I will ensure that you can go to class, and I'll give you like 12 hours to do your homework, and you take your ass back out here and you do your job. And that was the deal he made. And that's how I started. I got voluntold by Devaya. It wasn't like a, hey, go. It was like, hey, I need to fill a quota. Your ass will go. It's not that hard. You'll be fine. That was the speech. And this is back. When we did what we were told in the Army. So like, I just, sure, Roger,
Shut up and tell him.
Yeah, it didn't matter. So, but I credit with where I'm at now, which is in a PhD program for history. Like, I didn't want to go back to school, and it was just kind of one leader that was like, hey, you're going to do this thing, and you're going to be better for it. And man, was he right. And so Colonel Fenzel had that program. What I learned throughout my kind of academic career in the military and trying to go through it, you fast forward, me and First Sergeant Seymour and then Sergeant Major Seymour tried to start this again. And it, like many great ideas in the Army, they die in like a battalion 3s or brigade 3s, like inbox, because they don't want to brief the boss for whatever reason. And we finally got the command lined up, and, happenstance, I retired, and then Sergeant Major Seymour hit me up, and he's like, I really want to do this thing, and I think you're a guy that can get it across the finish line. And so in partnership with them in Fayetteville Tech, what we have done is establish Cannonball University, which essentially aligns academic calendars to the IRF. Because for the guys that know anything about the immediate response force, it's very difficult to take college classes when, one, you could be blown out at any point, or if you're on the 2, you're just training for 4 months straight. Like, you don't have time really to do college classes. But the 3, we identified after a couple iterations that it would allow us to be able to let guys go to classes, even if they were like, on gate guard or whatnot. So that's what we've done. If you're in the Fort Bragg area, please come out to the Ed Center on, March 26th, later this month. And we're going to have you can basically have nothing. If you just show up, and we got drone program 2 coming. So like, if you show up, we will, essentially get you to the finish line of getting enrolled in classes. And then, hopefully, it works out for you. And I think regardless, whatever program you want to take, we're here to support. And because Army Ignited isn't tough. So that's kind of like the major kind of project I got going on right now. It's all about just making paratroopers more lethal, because just trying to give them a little bit more tools to think, man. So I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Y'all having me on.
stuff.
And
give me that
exciting.
information for the 26th, like a flyer or something, and then
I got you, boss. When we get a little bit closer, I'll get we'll get you we'll do some advertising, kind of try to get a lot of awareness.
Tanner, what's your point on this, or opinion on this? I always made this an argument with like commanders or just anybody who I can't stand that secondary education was a promotion like credit. Like, I didn't think that's what we needed to be experts at. However,
no, I agree. I don't think it should have ever counted. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but here's my point is that we should 100% push people to go get more educated. We need to teach them how to be more literate. And I mean, yeah, you can be literate at a 5th grade level and do just fine in the Army, 3rd grade in the Marines, right, Josh? So like there's like
I think preschool, bro.
Yeah, preschool.
Trans and window licking, bro.
A is for alligator, and you're in, right? Like, boom. But there's never anything wrong with making people smarter and being able to read things on their own, and then, like you said, Tanner, critically think. So I really like that. But what's your opinion on that about being promotion criteria?
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I would agree with you that I don't think it should be a differentiator if I can use that word, between like when you rack and stack people together and you're talking about promote. I don't think. I mean, how many
Oh yeah, it's
dumb
definitely looked
people
at
do we
though.
know that have degrees, right?
I'm
How
pretty
many?
sure.
How
I'm
many?
pretty sure you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, yeah. I mean, we've seen it, at the company level, like the E4 that comes in with the college degree, and especially in something like a weapons squad, right? And you like, man, give me that private with a tab, like 100 days a week over, the
I'll take the Ranger over the nerd
whatever.
all day long. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy that advocates for more for education than most, but I think it's more about, like you said, Nick, just expanding the ability to critically think.
Yeah, I've been out for almost 2 years, but I think Sergeant Major back then was pretty much. I didn't really see anybody get selected without a degree, and then they send you to school anyway if you don't have one. Like you have an
Right.
associate's, you're going to finish your bachelor's while you're at the academy, and then lower enlisted, it was definitely promotion points. I mean, quote me if I'm wrong here, but yeah, I think at the lower enlisted
You want
level,
us
it
to
shouldn't
quote
really
you or
matter.
correct you?
Correct me.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, sorry. Ich kann auf Deutsch sprechen, wenn du willst.
Yeah. Hey, you got Jeff saying he was at Groff. That's the only person that can understand you. I don't know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can you make that program like virtual?
Yeah, it's by design. We did it hybrid. That way, if guys got blown out or if they're at a tasking, like if they get, and that was kind of the cool part. We worked with Fayetteville Tech to kind of loosen up the syllabuses for attendance and get a little bit more flexible professors. And essentially, like, so if guys got cadet summer training and they can't physically be in the class, like, so all the classes are offered in kind of a hybrid format. Like, it's all kind of, if y'all remember when I was in Iraq and we had the ballistic missile attack, like they shut down the internet, so I couldn't take school. So like all these lessons I kind of learned throughout trying to do online education while in the Army and trying to be a high performer essentially is like what I just went to Fayetteville Tech and a couple of the other colleges with, like, hey, if you could just write the syllabus this way, and let's make this friendlier, because it does have real world ramifications on their, they end up having to pay the money back, right, if they flunk it or something. So if there's like a valid reason, and essentially the deal is like if the colonel writes a letter saying, no, this is legit, then, it'll absolve them of that and they can come back like with an eye or something that doesn't affect like that.
That's good.
So that's really where we think we're going to be successful is we spend a lot of time working on like the legit, this isn't some wave top bullshit. Like we put like, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to make sure these guys are taken care of. And that's really what all I really give a shit about is taking care of paratroopers.
Do you have plans of making this bigger? I'm asking because I feel like even in the Marine Corps, we could use something like that, right? I feel like every branch could use something like that. So this could be.
Most unique to us in the 82nd really was the training calendar and the op tempo. I think this might be a little bit easier for other. I mean, I don't know. Op tempo is just going to get crazier now that I think about it. We'll definitely, given the kind of the nature of what I do, we'll capture the lessons learned and like spread it out, like, and try to like put out information of like, hey, this is what I ran into, and I'll definitely contribute to the literature of how to do something like this. But I mean, I'll be candid. Like I give a shit about the 82nd Airborne Division, and I'm trying to make paratroopers more lethal. And like, I only got so much bandwidth. So that's like where I got to stay, man. Like I would love for everybody to do it, but I can only dedicate, to so much time to it. Unfortunately, got to pay some of these bills.
For sure. I get it.
That's awesome.
The seed's planted, though. Pretty soon you're going to make Cannonball University an all online thing for the military.
Yeah, you make a model. You give a model of something that's successful.
I was about to say,
yeah.
Build it
for other branches to adopt. Yeah. And then the Marines, especially with the MEF units, it's I know. Like Flores was just talking about this the other day about how he got hit up by the VA to repay like a couple of semester hours from the GI Bill because he got put on like reserve orders for a class.
Yeah.
When he got out, was on the reserves. He had to go to this freaking thing with the reserves and missed like 4 classes, and one of those classes dropped him. And they tried to charge him, and they did charge him, but he had to go through a 6-month program to like try to get that, not have to pay that money.
That's crazy.
Legit.
When the ballistic missile, the battalion commander writes a letter or whatever, and you're exempt. You're good to go. Yeah.
I was doing my master's program, and when the ballistic missile attack stuff happened or whatever, and they shut down the internet, I got dropped. Well, I get dropped from the course, and then I have to appeal it. And I'm like, I start taking courses back that May, or I'm going through the appeal process. And they send me an email from the committee and they're like, well, how can you assure this will never happen again? Like that was like and then they were like, you're gonna have to pay for it. I was like, is that
I don't know. Go ask Paris, man.
Do you say that somebody gets in a car accident, misses a final? Like, how can you promise you won't get into a car accident the next time you come here? I can't. Like,
my response was like, well, you can only kill.
Go ask them when they plan to attack us again.
Go talk to Aloha Snack Bar over there and find out. Like, see if
you can only kill Samanani once. You know what I mean? So listen, so maybe we're good. Like he's dead as hell. So like maybe I don't know what to tell you, man.
He died like a dog. So yeah.
Anyhow,
let's get to our guest. This is awesome. I forget because I talk so much shit and I'm scrolling on social media all the time trying to find guests and people that are rocking and rolling and doing great things. Did you reach out to us or did I reach out to you?
Bro, I'm wearing fucking Crocs right now and I couldn't even tell you if I tied my shoes this morning. So
yeah,
your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I'm
to make me sound cool. You guys reached out to me. To make you guys sound cool, I reached out in a desperate plea, like, "Come on, Army gods, let me."
Yeah, now it's starting to come back. I saw you. Yeah, you came across on IG, and I was like, "Okay, here's a podcast." And then I looked at your page. I was like, "All right, let's get this guy in there, see if we can get him some followers."
Okay.
And then just maybe one day come on your podcast, and that'll help. We'll stream it on ours because we don't want to brag too much on there. But between Gruntworks and Veteran Trash Talk, we're at about 700,000 followers. We're doing all right. So shout out to
oh shit, okay.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys and girls out there, and a big shout out to VTT's Bang Bang Expert and OE254 cables. They're the ones that really keep the blood in the community going and making sure everybody's behaving and not getting canceled or kicked off of Facebook. But Josh,
what's up?
Is a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. And in his bio, he says even the infantry guys need heroes. So he went to be an engineer.
Yeah.
I was thinking, of like
my only lead the way, right?
Yeah, my only. Well, I mean, no, but for the tanks, they don't care if us ground guys get blown up. But tanks are too expensive to get blown up. No, my only real like Marine knowledge is Full Metal Jacket, right? And
accurate.
So like when they're going off of like 0311 infantry, 0311 infantry, and then they get the Joker and they just like what like you're like cameraman, like what? So how did it feel when you were like gonna go be this crazy war fighter, and then they were like, no, you're an engineer, sorry, man.
Yeah, so I actually.
No, but hey, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. Talk about what you got going
my
on.
recruiter didn't fuck me over, dude. I'm not even mad about it, right? Like, I thought being a combat engineer was probably the coolest thing in the military because you got to play with explosives, right? I didn't know the other shitty sides that I could have got stuck with, but everything lined up for me to go the route that I went. Although you guys could talk shit about this all you want, I didn't see combat. I was never deployed to combat, right? I went on a vacation to Oman for like a month. Other than that, my struggle wasn't not being an 03. My struggle was joining the Marine Corps and getting out and not successfully doing anything that I signed up for, right? Like, I played video games my whole life, right? I want to go overseas and fight and, like, serve my country that way, protect my brothers and sisters and all that shit. But I have learned through my mental health struggles that my calling for joining the Marine Corps wasn't to fight the war overseas. It was to fight the invisible war back home, and that's exactly what I'm doing here now.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. You hit a good point where a lot of agencies or, like departments will call that like moral decay, right? To where you come in thinking you're going to do this job and you're going to go be this, and then you're not.
Right.
And again, we have lots of people on our platform that are not combat veterans, and we have to shut the skull and bones bro vets up all the time where it's like, what does that matter? There's people who deployed 4 times and didn't fire 1 round, didn't see anything. Exact probably had a better life overseas than they did when they're back home.
Raise their right hand, man.
Yeah, you raise your right hand, you put it on the line. But yeah, talk about that mental health battle, and how this podcast started and how that's been going so far.
Yeah, so this podcast started because of my mental health battle, right? I remember getting told I was going to get out of the Marine Corps. I was just going to go back to being fat and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to let that happen. Next thing I know, I was eating too much, and here I am, right? And then I continued my professional alcoholism throughout the Marine Corps. Even in the Army, when you sign on that dotted line, you become a contractual alcoholic. It's just the rite of passage in my eyes. So I had a problem before with the Marine Corps, let's be honest, but it just carried on into the Marine Corps, carried it out. But my demons came out afterward, after I got out of the Marine Corps, right? When I would drink, my demons, the darkness, like all my anger would come out. As I'm talking to you guys right now, I can reflect back and say that's because I didn't have I like to call it group therapy when you're on active duty, because you have all the motherfuckers similar to you that even if you're having a good day, you guys can go to the side and just fight to get the anger and aggression out and like laugh it off and come back in and like go back and do what you need to do. But I didn't have that shit when I was out. I had a relationship that was fucking based on drinking at the time and rocky as fuck. And all the anger and separation and all that issues came out. Finally, I got a 2-year sobriety. I was 2.5 years sober. Then I was talking to my therapist and I was like, oh, I had this great idea. I seen this buddy post a picture of a meme that said, stop doing the fucking 22 push-ups, pick up the phone and call your buddy. And I was like, oh shit, light on. And this idea came up. I originally pitched it to somebody else because I can't talk to fucking anybody like that. That's not for me. He didn't want to do it for certain reasons. And then I told my therapist, and she tried to get me to go live in her office, telling everybody that I was starting it. So I was like, that's not happening, but I will go home and I promise I'll make you a video. And so that's how the podcast started. And my mission is to reach out to our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, conquer our mental health together, remind everybody that they're not alone. We all have our struggles.
That's what's up. And it's like what type of guests do you have on? Like for us, we have everybody. We promote veteran-owned businesses. We have entrepreneurs, just any type of, individual who served, and we'll promote that. Do you like who do you like pick, or do people reach out to
Yeah,
you, or?
all the above, right? So I started off thinking that this was only going to be a veteran thing. I wanted to be in the veteran niche. And then I quickly got a lot of community support. And I realized that everybody needs that extra fucking reminder that they're not alone. We all have these struggles, right? So I've opened up the podcast to anybody and everybody. I'm about to start working on a segment that's more of like veteran mental health nonprofits in the area to help give them a little bit more publicity and showcase what they can do, as well as let the other veterans in the area find out about it. I feel like we have so many resources, but one, we have so many, we don't know where to start. And then two, it's hard to find them because there's not like a central database on Cannonball University yet,
It's also hard to find out who's legit and who's not, right?
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, this is episode 22, season 2. I mean, we've done over we're close to 122. I mean, I feel like
close to
we fucked
200
up the seasons
episodes.
anyway.
We're
So
like 170 something, yeah.
yeah, and
170 something.
for the most part, like everybody like is legit, but there were a couple that then we kind of started finding out that, oh snap, like your organization really isn't all that, and like where is all that money going if you're a nonprofit, but you are getting money, and then like I'm not going to call anybody out, but
Or like the batshit crazy, like cultish ones, like don't know if we're gonna send anybody that way. Maybe, but you never know. Maybe somebody calls us and says, "Hey, I need something like this." Hey, I know the guy.
Right.
All right, good luck. You're
Right.
gonna be.
And Nick
tied
always
up for 2
mentions
weeks,
it.
but
How many nonprofits, Nick? You always still have a number out there. How many?
now it's over 80,000. It was at
80,000
77,000.
nonprofits.
Wow.
Veteran nonprofits. Veteran nonprofits.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which is
But yeah.
great, but like you said, there's no
Yeah.
database either where you can like, find them all at once or whatever if you're looking for them in your area of operation, your AO. So,
And
yeah,
there's people that try to start those databases. I've seen it to where like
which would be
they
great.
try to get them started, and it's a nightmare. And I mean,
It's a lot of
it's
work.
got to be somebody with a lot of money that just wants to do it eventually. It's going to have to be able to eat the costs and start a database like that. Because I know it's been tried, but people don't realize how expensive it is to put that kind
I
of
feel like
in.
this is a job for the Big Earl and Elon and Doge.
Yeah.
Like the script writes itself, dude. Like
it does, because Doge could just Doge will have his 20, and I'm not making. This is by no means making fun of an autistic person, but he's got his little 23-year-old autistic kid. and he could probably put it together in like 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
he could be like, those 46,000 are shit.
Yeah.
But he won't tell you why. He just says they're shit. And then
They're shit. Yeah, straight shit.
You brought this up. This is a good point. He just Doge just got rid of, I think, a $1.1 billion over the last 10 years revenue generator for Endeavor in El Paso and West Texas, but it was headquartered in San Antonio. So it's the San Antonio portion of it was doing some good things, but I remember, and I'll call them out all day long. I remember reaching out to Endeavor multiple times to get, hey, what's your story? Who are you helping? How can I help you help people?
Right.
And because we were local, and I couldn't get
local.
a motherfucking answer back. Right. And it turns out that building in El Paso, I was getting, I think, $14 million a year is empty. So again, you're going to find it. You look, you're going to find it. You're going to piss a lot of people off, but
absolutely.
But yeah, so that's a good kind of got squirrel. We're going to talk about that now. But back to
you want to talk about government waste? Like,
Oh no, we're gonna go off on a tangent. We need to stick with our guest.
Yeah. Let me turn on the light. You got dark.
Yeah.
Tanner, you and Nick can go on Facebook and do that like you always do.
No, we'll bring Tanner on for the other part what he's got working, and we'll discuss it because that is 100% has to do with government waste and transportation. We'll do that a different show. But yeah, Josh, tell us some of the, like you talked about. We bring this up all the time that if you have an idea, lots of people have ideas. What did it take to execute it? What did it take to actually get it moving? I know you brought up how it started, but
the
tell us
same
about the
thing
hiccups.
that I have to do to this day, and that's get the fuck out of my own way. Like, imposter syndrome's fucking real. Like, who the fuck is Josh Mack? Now you're gonna try to go by J Mac, and you think these people are gonna fucking want to come on your podcast? They're gonna want to talk to you and share their fucking story. But I have more people than I have time to interview, and like, I can't wait to be able to talk to a veteran or just a person every day and have that compelling story. One conversation can save that person's life, and you'll never fucking know it, right?
100%.
So. Part of what I'm doing with the podcast this year, I'm launching like the Do Ask, Do Tell tour, right? Do ask how they're fucking doing. And then when they say, I'm living the dream, life's good, whatever, be like, okay, now how are you really fucking doing, right? Because there's difference. What they're going to tell you at first, yeah, right here, I appreciate you putting this on. I'll just go through my whole spiel. So yeah, on the 23rd of every month, I'm going to do a buddy check-in-a-thon, looking to just for others to join the cause to help fight combat. Jesus, you put me on the spot, my man. All right, let's combat.
I'm not good with this. Together. I'm figuring this out. This isn't my job. There we go. Yeah.
No, it's all good. All right. So
our Marine nerd is supposed to be here helping, but he's playing pool.
I'm over here trying to lean out of the way of it. Like I don't know.
All right. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah, it's right on the screen. It's nobody's in the way. But like I said, on the 23rd of every month, I'm going to go live, but you're only going to see me and hear me. But I'm going to be making phone calls, text messages, and video chats to any number that gets Venmo'd to me, right? So I'm asking $5 for a phone call, $23 for a video chat, or $5 as well for a text message or a phone call, right? And then you just Venmo that, and the 23rd of every month, I'm going to do that. And you're probably like, why do you keep doing 23? So this is another little Easter egg, I call it, that I want to do. I'm overhearing 22 or 44, and I'm tired of the demoralizing veteran suicide numbers and what things that just connect to veteran suicide. It's always negative, right? Veteran suicide, negative. It's going to stay fucking negative. But let's make it a little bit more positive. Let's make sure we're asking each other how we're doing, and then not only asking how they're doing, but being genuine and sharing how you're doing. Yeah, today's a good day. I've been struggling with this, but this is how I'm going to get over it. The 23rd is the GOAT of all fucking numbers, right? Michael Jordan. If you can make it past that 22nd hour, you have less than 1 hour until you're to a new day. You can make it another day, and you can keep living that way. Just make it to the 23rd hour, and you're on to the next day already. So that's part of what I'm about.
I love that. I actually did a video. It's on TikTok about that. How's it going? And then I'm good. And then you just leave it at that as a leader, especially, because we've sadly lost quite a few friends and individuals to suicide. And, a lot of times it's the ones that are just smiling, like you just said, that you think are good to go. But, when they say I'm good, like dive deep into like, how are you actually doing? That is so important to mention that because a lot of times the ones that are going to do it, they're going to do it anyway. And they are not going to be like, oh, I'm feeling sad. I'm depressed. Usually that's actually, in my opinion, that's a cry for help, right? That's inviting you in. But somebody who says, I'm good, yeah, you need to double check on them. So for all the leaders out there, like, check on your soldiers, and
Yeah,
then
look at Robin
veterans
Williams.
as well. It's a
Yeah.
great point you bring up, man. Very, very good point.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
like to reiterate it because this is a great thing. And I have had the awesome privilege of finding a successful job from this podcast to go train people on suicide prevention and sharp training using virtual reality, where it puts you in a position of crisis that you have to speak and you have to talk. And the data, and it collects data, the behavioral analysis. The data that we get back it's so crazy, but it makes sense to me because every training I ever got for suicide prevention, I always make the joke when I teach the classes, I was ACE qualified, ASALT qualified, Jedi Master qualified. Like I had every qualification on how to stop somebody from killing themselves, but I never practiced it. I never practiced it as a skill until I had to do it. And the first time I had to do it, I didn't have the emotional intelligence to know what I was even doing. And that kid completed suicide, and it was like, I live with that forever. But it's like, I think what another thing that people will learn when you do this is like, yeah, when people call and you have these conversations, people think that they're going to be good at it. Yeah. And it's like,
yeah, and you're not.
You're not, right?
Yeah.
And I had a chaplain crying after our experience in the headset because he wasn't good at it. And he thought he was going to be good at it.
Here's a chaplain thinking he's the G at it, right? Yeah.
Ready to crush it.
Yeah. And he's like, he's like, that guy really
Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that, what you might have said it, but
I think he froze.
So it's $5 or $23 for a video conference.
Nick, you
sorry.
What is the money for?
Bro.
What's it doing? Space. I think is when I clicked it. Elon, sorry, dude. But no, for 5 and 23, what does that money do? Where's it going?
Okay, yeah. So the money's going to go right back into the podcast. I'm creating the JMRE, which is the JMAC Mental Readiness Equipment Kit. It's going to have local veteran nonprofit organizations and resources, tools in there, hygiene kits with local nonprofits or veteran organizations, like information on there as well. I'm having a range card developed by a Marine Corps veteran turned psychologist that will be in there, so you can like check in on yourself. So it'll be going right back into the podcast, right? And I'm going to take those directly to the VA and stand outside the VA and hand them to veterans as they walk through. I'm tired of this, like, let's create something, hurry up and wait for the veteran to come to us. Let's go straight to the fucking veteran. Let's go straight to the source. And my ultimate goal, I'm also going to start going to the local military bases out here, which is the Air Force right now. With Luke Air Force Base is the closest to me. But I want to start getting to the service member.
Real quick, you're in Arizona?
Yeah, are you?
I'm in Surprise. Yeah.
I'm in Surprise, motherfucker.
There, you guys should have done the show together. This is my fault.
What does that happen?
You guys should have done it
at
you should have done it at Brookside.
I'm in Bell
been in there at Brookside getting after it.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it
now. We can keep tabs
but we can
on
talk
you.
later. Yeah. We'll get connected.
But yeah, I want to start getting to the vet or the service member before they're out. So I want to go on the basis as well. And then if possible, if enough money's raised, I want to kickstart the Do Ask Do Tell tour. And I want to go to the Marine Corps Marathon, promote mental health there to all the runners. There's going to be over 30,000 plus runners this year on top of all the vendors, the supporters, community, XYZ. And then a couple of I want to start going to the veteran stand downs around here. So I want to backdrop that says like JMac podcast and mental, or like a supporter or like mental health, and just literally be asking everybody that comes up, hey man, how are you doing? Just genuinely asking the person. Like, I'm not asking anything from them. I don't want shit. I'm not trying to like blast my podcast in your face, but I'm going to ask you how you're doing and let you know
Well, you
that
got to
there is
blast
a
it in people's
resource.
faces sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to put it out there. And I'm glad you're talking about this. I asked the money question one because we want to know what it's doing as well. But there are a lot of bro vets out there that don't understand that shit costs money.
Yeah.
You know, and
For sure.
nonprofits are just they're not supposed to like take a profit like a corporation, but they still need to run the corporation like a profit company and make money.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
they die and their mission dies.
Absolutely.
So I kind of like this mission. Now, are you a 501c? Are you in the process of it, or?
So I am working with a 501c to use them as a pass through until I develop enough, and I want to do it properly, bro. I ain't trying to file a 501c off of my knowledge because I'll end up on being trash talked for sure. All right. So I want to do it the right way. And so, no, I am just an LLC for now. But I am working with the 501c as a pass through. So you can donate to the 501c and get the credit, or I forget the proper term for it, but you'll get that back. And then the money will still come to me, though.
Yeah, the tax write-off for sure. An intermediate, yeah, and we do somewhat similar things with a lot of the 501s that we like because we're not a 501. We definitely take that money, right?
Yeah.
But we partner
not a
with
lot.
not a lot.
You say
Yeah,
that,
not a
but
lot
yeah.
at all.
We
But
sell shirts like any other
we partner
veteran-owned
with a lot of
company.
501s that
Right.
you know, and like our QR code up there. If people scan it, it's to subscribe to Veteran Trash Talk. And all of that money goes to promoting this show, the next show, right? And every single dime of that, because a lot of like we'll have nonprofits on that are like it costs $70,000 to send a soldier to here, right? Not a lot of people who watch this have $70,000, right? To give, but if you give us $6, then that helps promote the show that maybe somebody who has $70,000 sees it.
Right.
That's kind of the idea. But no, I really like what you got going on.
Which we've had happen. Yeah.
Like, even if you give me $1, I'm fucking so grateful for it because I don't even feel like I deserve it, right? But like to keep doing what I'm doing, and I have to learn to accept it and be able to ask for that money. Fuck, there's something I wanted to say, but I lost it. My bad.
Squirrel.
Nick, can I give you some props real quick?
Sure.
I know you're a humble guy, so you're not gonna like
absolutely,
receive
yeah.
it. And yeah, that's the number one thing people think of. He's like super humble, back to back, best leader of the year. And Trent also, what I loved about and J Mac, this is a credit to you, man. What I love what you're saying is like coping skills, and what Nick's always talking about with like these are hard skills. Like to me, that's where this conversation has to get. Like growing up in 2P, like y'all know the history, right? Like it just wasn't pretty, and we paid so much lip service to it. And then I became a PL, and then I became like, and then the problem didn't get any better when I got back to division, and until I started going to therapy and I actually understood what coping skills were. You know, I was one of what I would call like one of the guys that was like, you know, hey man, how you doing? Hey, I'm good. Blah 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 blah. And then like I've had a child that dealt a lot with suicide ideation and like became kind of versed well with mental health stuff with that. And so what I tell people straight up is if like the person you're talking to or the professional you're talking to isn't trying to actively give you coping skills, like go find somebody else. Because and Nick, that's why I love what you're doing with our like that's we got to get the lip service days are gone. And J Max, I applaud you for that, man. Like we've been paying this lip service for as long as, you know, I've been in the military and probably before that, obviously. And these guys have both been in way longer than me. And I'm just glad that the conversation's actually getting to like some fidelity on like fixing it. So,
action is required.
Yep. Yeah, dude. Like we can't just keep on keeping on with this. Thanks again. I know y'all been doing this a long time, man, and I appreciate y'all having me back on. And I look forward to coming back on because I'm a tear Transcom up. But like I appreciate.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate everything y'all are doing, man, and just a great mission and a testament to y'all.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
And I had a meeting in DC in a very high office 2 weeks ago, And I sat there, and I'm not going to obviously name names because it's my job too. And like my CEO of the company will probably be pretty upset that everything he worked for just dies because I wanted to talk shit about the podcast.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
But to that extent, I was listening to such great people in the prevention field, like great accomplished people, talking about pretty much Doge. And, you know, if somebody with a Tesla pin came in the office right now and said, hey, show me what you're doing is working. Yeah. Right? They can't. And they argued about it. And finally, somebody really smart in the room, not me, but somebody, because I'm humble, somebody really smart in the room that has a PhD, goes, how about we start looking at qualitative data into what soldiers and service members like to do for this kind of training? Let's do that first. And then second, why don't we say, while we work on a way to quantify what we're doing, we're not going to give up on it.
Right.
Let's quantify the skill. And it's like, that is something that we do for every other single warfighter task in the Marines, in the Army, in the Navy. Can you do this? Yes or no? And sometimes it's timed. Go. Nope, you failed. Try again. Go. Nope, you failed. We have never done that with prevention training, ever, to where a soldier has to go through it, or a Marine, and like you said, do ask, do tell. Now, it's impossible to scale that across the Army with individual actors, but you can do it with technology to where they're going to get a Hollywood actor and they're going to get that emotion. And they're going to get that, nah, man, I'm good. Get the fuck out of here. Man, why are you coming at me? Okay, well, you would just walk out the door now? You would say no, you wouldn't, but the data says 20% do.
Yeah.
All right, because that we're getting that behavioral analysis. So that just goes along the lines with like what Tanner's saying, and I get on my soapbox to make it a hard skill. But I like what you're doing, J-Mac, and I kind of want to be a little bit of a part of it if you have me, but to where it's like, watch how uncomfortable these conversations actually are.
Yeah.
And then watch, like, it doesn't matter if, like, the imposter syndrome, you said it, like, you're probably not going to be very good at it the first 5, 6, 7 times. But shit, I wasn't good at hardly. I mean, I was good at a lot of military stuff as a natural.
Oh my
but like,
God. Dude, I just knew that was coming. I'm pretty much good at everything I
but
do.
I will try to humble myself to be at your level, where some things, you know, I didn't get right away. I didn't get the first time, and then I had to have a buddy like Beckwith be the actual black hat that gave me my go. So in Pathfinder school, right?
And Pathfinder.
But no, Josh, really appreciate you taking this approach, because we haven't taken this approach, and I haven't really seen it yet. I think that's okay. That's what I saw. Yeah, it's like, this is a really good approach. I saw it on Instagram. But make us a part of it if you don't mind, to where we can help you promote it.
Yeah, my pleasure. For sure. I'd love that. I'd love to talk to you more after this as well and share. I'm going to become this generation's version of the VFW, except substance free and community driven, right? I can't get rid of the half true war stories. That shit's always going to be there. But this isn't going to be a place that you go and drink and like escape to just cause more drama and damage in your life. This is going to be a place that you can go to after work and detox from the work stressors before you go to the home stressors, and vice versa. So you can go to before work to detox from the stressors of kids and the marriage and whatever it looks like for you at home before you go into the stressors of work. Because at the end of my Marine Corps, I served 4 years on. At the end of it, I couldn't separate the fucking chaos that was going on at home, and it led to the chaos at work. So I just felt like I was in a constant tornado of shit. And it fucking sucked. I had no escape. So I appreciate you saying thank you for doing it and doing it this way. But I need to be honest with you. I'm doing this shit for fucking me just as much as I'm doing it for you
100%.
and
That's
the
what we
people
say.
that have never reached
That's
out.
what we do.
We
This
say
is my
that all the
favorite day
time,
of the
man.
week.
This is our therapy.
This is my favorite day of the
Every
week.
Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But all right. Where can people find you? All that good stuff, and then we'll let Dave close it out. And then after Dave closes it out and I play the last video, stick around. We'll chat some more.
For sure. Yes, my website is jmachpodcast.org. And then you can just find me on all social media: LinkedIn, YouTube, fucking Instagram, Facebook, under JMac Podcast.
Nice.
Freaking love it, brother. Great stuff. And yeah, you'll
you.
stay on. We'll get connected, man. You literally
sure.
live like 5 minutes from where I'm at.
Cool.
For everybody to tune in late, go check out VeteranTrashTalk.com. That is the website, which has the links to everything. Our podcast, which we obviously have on YouTube. So go over there, give us a like, subscribe, push us through the algorithm. We're on Apple Podcast, whatever else we're on. I don't know what Crystal is on. For all you TikTok, are we live on TikTok today, Nick?
I don't know. I don't think so. The,
For all
the
you
nerd,
TikTok,
the
yeah,
nerd will have to tell us that, but he's playing pool.
yeah. Give us a
So-
like, follow.
We
Go
bought
to
him like 7
Shop
computer screens and this big thing, and it's like he's playing pool today. It's like, thanks, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Be like that
I
sometimes,
know.
man. Shout out.
I
Yeah,
saw like
life happens.
18
Life
shares.
My favorite thing to
being
do is
shared
shave
on
pulls
18
at DFW.
different places. But go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com. That has our awesome merch. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts today. It's just a tip. Okay? It's just a tip. You can get that at shop.veterantrashtalk.com. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next Saturday. Faceman
Hold on,
VTT
let
out.
me see if I have it here. Hold on, I might have it. I'm looking for it. I'm
I don't
screwing
think
up. I'm
so.
too slow. I got it. Just a tip.
Wow.
Right there. Scan it right
That's
there.
fancy. That's fancy.
Found it.
It's a great
Found it.
conversation starter. You'll have fun with it.
And if you have daughters,
It's a
they
good
do not want you wearing it with them in public. Okay, I'm just
That is
saying that
true.
right now. Not a good idea. Not
that
saying
is
I did
true.
that, but not a good idea.
I don't wear it in public if my daughter's with me. Yeah, I just don't.
Maybe we'll wear it to the Kendrick concert. So it is what it is. But
Oh, we need to
all right,
wear
see you
quick and
later.
a triggered pansy to that.
I'm going in
Oh,
Charlotte.
yeah,
It's gonna be
Yeah, Nick and I are
We're
going to be
seeing
jamming
LA.
out.
Boom.
We're
We
still
gotta go.
live, aren't we, Nick?